What is going on, Buff Nation? I'm here again, wanted to come out with a very quick video in addition to the live stream that I did with Rawhide yesterday. Just give you a very quick, straight, to the point, first official record prediction for Colorado, how I'm looking at these games as they go into their first season in the new 16-team Big-12 here in 2024. So, hey, this is my first prediction. This is how I'm looking at things. Might that change throughout the year? Sure, but hey, this is how I'm looking at the games, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where you see the Buffs going this year? Am I too low? Am I too high? What makes this a successful season for Coach Prime? And I'll also get into that near the end. You know, what earns him an A in my book after, hey, my good friend Rawhide and I, we both gave Coach Prime an A this past year. Raw even gave him an A plus. But hey, let's go ahead and get into it. I'll share my screen and let's enjoy this. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts as well. Okay, so here is the schedule that we have so far. I'll just run through the games very quickly. Then we'll break down how I'm taking a look at them. Home against North Dakota State. At Nebraska. At Colorado State. Home, Baylor. At UCF. Home, Kansas State. At Arizona. Home, Cincinnati. At Texas Tech. Home, Utah. At Kansas Jayhawks. Home, Oklahoma State. Okay. So kind of how I'm breaking this down is there's the first category here of teams that we definitely should beat. Okay. How I'm looking at that is with these opponents. Week 1 at home against North Dakota State. That should be a win. Okay. Week 3 against Colorado State. This is going to be up in Fort Collins, an hour or so up the road. But this is a game in which CU should feel like they have a home crowd behind them, right? I mean, this should be a takeover in Fort Collins, not too far away. We are much more excited about this football program than Colorado State Rams fans are about what they got going on with Jay Norvell. So I think that's going to be a big-time home environment. We should absolutely blow out Colorado State. We cannot ease up. We cannot let up on them, especially with how they played us this past year. That should be a win. Also, the following week at home at Folsom, taking on the Baylor Bears. The Bears were, they were terrible last year. They were 2-7 in conference, 3-9 overall. This is a game that we should absolutely win to start off conference play. So those are 3 opponents right there. Now, UCF, I'm also including this on the list. UCF is a game that we should beat. Now, should they be, more improved from last year? Yes, no doubt. But this was a team 3-7 in conference, 6-7 overall. But I just have this feeling that it's going to be a Buffs crowd there. We should win against UCF. That might be kind of my hot take. And then lastly, the other opponent that I have on this list of games that we should absolutely win is against the Cincinnati Bearcats. They finished last in conference with a 1-8 record this past year, 3-9 overall, especially with this being at home. No doubt this is a game that the Buffs should win. So let's count that out. North Dakota State, CSU, Baylor Bears, the UCF Knights, and the Cincinnati Bearcats. Okay, that is 5 wins right there. That is a 1-game improvement from the 4 games that we won this past year. That is wonderful. Those are the games that we absolutely, should win. Now, this is a little controversial. Now, this next category is games that I think we have the opportunity to win and should win, but maybe we're not going to be favorites going into this game, by the Vegas odds or whatever. And really, that includes first, week 2, going to Lincoln to play the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This is a team that last year was just a quarterback away, right? Now they're going to have a true freshman starting quarterback, most likely, in Dylan Raiola playing. Our defense is better improved, but this is a game that I'm hoping that we win, that I'm expecting to win. But by no means am I expecting Colorado to be big-time favorites or anything like that going into this game. No doubt. In addition to that, there's another game here that I think, even though, like, Texas Tech wasn't the best team, they didn't live up to expectation this past year. A lot of people thought that they could be the surprise team in the Big-12. Did not live up to expectation, but playing in Lubbock is a tough thing to do. Texas Tech, they finished 5-4 in conference, 7-6 overall. This is a game that probably, if Vegas odds makers were to predict or put a line out there right now, with it being in Lubbock, I bet the Texas Tech Raiders are favored by at least a little bit. But this is a game that I feel like Colorado should win. So I'm giving them those 2 wins that should be closer, more competitive games against Nebraska and against Texas Tech. So that's 7 wins right there. That's a 3-game improvement. And in my mind, if we reach that 7-game win threshold, A for Coach Prime, no doubt. That gets us bowl eligible. That's another 3-game improvement. And hey, then it's like, okay, it's up to us to make sure not only are we beating the teams that we should beat and, winning these closer battles, but now we're really starting to stick it to some other really good programs. And so the teams remaining on the schedule that kind of fit that category that are going to be very tough games for us: Kansas State, that's at home; Arizona Wildcats on the road; at home against Utah, okay? On the road in Arrowhead Stadium against the Kansas Jayhawks, and then at home against the Oklahoma State Cowboys, okay? That's 5 opponents. And my hope is that, hey, we can win, a couple of those games. So right now, I have those wins being, let's see here. I have those wins being, what did I say here? Oklahoma State and, hold on real quick. Sorry for that pause. Oklahoma State and the Arizona Wildcats. We were a field goal away from winning this past year. Yes, the Arizona Wildcats are bringing back Noah Fafita, their quarterback, but new head coach Jed Fish isn't there anymore. Who knows how that team is going to perform this year? But those are kind of the two games that in this category of, our top tier opponents of us winning right now. So right now I'll take you through the schedule, but it's a 9-3 prediction, okay, which might feel a little bit Kool-Aid drinking. Other people say that it's not enough. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I think that, hey, going from 4 wins to 9 wins would be an A++ season for the Buffs, and it puts you in contention for the Big 12 championship, depending on how the rest of the teams in the conference do, which then puts you in contention to make that college football playoff if maybe some dominoes fall your way, right? And you get to the championship and you take care of business there in Arlington on December 7th. So I'll take you through a linear progression through the schedule to summarize this. And I want to know what games you see the Buffs losing or winning and what games you see the Buffs losing right now. So North Dakota State, win. Nebraska, win. Colorado State, win. Baylor Bears, win. UCF Knights, win. Then we hit the bye week 5-0. Kansas State Wildcats, loss. Arizona Wildcats, win. Cincinnati Bearcats, win. Texas Tech, win. Utah, loss. I need to see it. I need to see us beat Utah before I start predicting that. Kansas Jayhawks, a loss on the road at Arrowhead Stadium. But we finish off November 29th with a win against the Oklahoma State Cowboys at Folsom Field. and that's a win, and that's what gets us to 9-3. Now, Oklahoma State, that's going to be a tough one. Definitely going to be a tough one. Some of these games I think will be toss ups, but hey, I might have given us, some toss ups in terms of our games against, for instance, Oklahoma State or Utah, or not Utah, Oklahoma State or Arizona, right? But this is kind of how I see the schedule playing out. We'll win some tough games. We'll lose some close games, but overall, we will win more of these close games than we won in this past year. And hey, that gets us to 9-3. That's a substantial jump. Then we're really starting to build more and more momentum here. That's what I would love. But at the end of the day, I think the target, realistically, removing a little bit of my subjectivity, as a Buffs fan, you're not going to get the most objective, analysis here. But I think at the end of the day, if we can reach those 7 wins, that's an A on the year, no doubt, being bowl eligible. And then everything on top of that is gravy. Absolutely. So I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening along. Hit that like and please consider subscribing if you haven't. And as always, everybody, go Buffs.